Hey everyone, time for another segment of And Coffee Politics with Cutting the Bean. I'm your host, Benjamin Chaffetz, and I'm really excited to be doing another one of these episodes. I really enjoy these. They save me a lot of time on Facebook debates. So, without further ado, the riddle of the day is whoever makes me sells me, whoever buys me always buys me for someone else, and whoever uses me doesn't know they're using me. What am I? So, without further ado, here's the topic. So last night I was challenged by a friend of mine with respect to abortion. Now, we can get into the finer points of the abortion arguments at another date. I'm happy to do it. But essentially what he was doing was calling me, and conservatives really, hypocrites for caring unequivocally about the unborn, but not caring about them once they are born. And he was asking, what sort of bills have the GOP or conservatives pushed to protect or provide for children after they're born? This is a virtue signaling argument. I'm putting two videos in the description that I hope everyone watches. They're 13 minutes of your life. I watch them at 1.5 speed because I absorb material faster that way. But trust me, they're worth your time. And they kind of go over why it's a silly argument. And I'm going to tie them into this. And one of them's on fairness and what that means. And the other is on getting your house in order before you start preaching to others about what they need to change. And it ties in with climate change. But that still applies to this discussion. So why is this ridiculous? The reason it's ridiculous is because we're protecting life. You're protecting the ability to live, the opportunity to change your stars and to make a difference in yours and other people's lives, which is what freedom is about, right? Freedom, as defined by me, I believe this is the closest definition to freedom we can get, is you can do whatever you want as with your own property and or charge, as long as you don't infringe on someone else's property and or charge, right? And that's crucial because the difference between freedom and anarchy is private property, right? So you get to do what you need to do in order to further your life. Equal opportunity under the law. Fair, right? The reason that it's a ridiculous argument to say that conservatives are hypocrites because they don't create laws to provide for children after they're born, which the implication is, free healthcare, free education, stuff like that, providing for more homeless people or refugees. That's what they're virtue signaling on. Is that, wait a second, who gets to dictate which children get what? Oh, because you have less money, you deserve taxpayer dollars because you're less fortunate or less privileged than someone else? That's called theft. And the reason it's called theft is because you're taking from someone else and giving to someone else and declaring yourself to be of some higher morality. And I'm actually going to include 3 videos now that I think about it. The video that turned me into a conservative by Dinesh D'Souza. So it's 6 minutes long. So in total, we're talking about 19 minutes of screen time. Okay? Totally worth your time. I totally recommend them. They're really, really good videos, and they're really helpful. Where was I? Oh, yeah. So virtue signaling. So they're talking about how, evil conservatives never want to provide taxpayer dollars for or programs to help these people. Well, wait a second. What are you doing to help these people? Have you donated any money? Have you donated any of your time? I mean, regardless of whether you have, it doesn't matter. What you do is wonderful. If you volunteer at a homeless shelter, if you are helping sick kids, if you are volunteering at an orphanage, oh my gosh, God bless you. If you're donating, God bless you. I think that's wonderful. I think it's truly virtuous and good, and I hope you're doing it for the right reasons, and I hope you're helping these people, and I hope you're providing a wonderful service. I think it's fantastic. I really genuinely do. What I think is not fantastic is calling other people evil who don't decide of their own accord to provide for these things. I'm going to go a little over 5 minutes. And then doing nothing of your own. That's evil. That's theft. That's wrong. And the reason it's wrong is because you're criticizing other people for not doing something that you deem morally virtuous. That's the problem. You have a disconnect if you believe that that's morally good, to criticize others for not obeying your morality. I want to be really clear here, and I hope I've been clear so far. But what they don't understand is that's not the government's job. The government's job, the federal government job, at least in a free country, is, and according to the Constitution, pardon me, my nose is itching, is to provide for the common defense, both foreign and domestic, like for our citizens, right? Protect us from threats, foreign and domestic, and to monitor trade between states. It makes a lot of sense for the federal government to do that. Especially in the United States, right? We were supposed to be a conglomeration of countries. Each state was supposed to have its own laws under the Constitution. None of those laws could violate the Constitution. And they were supposed to operate independently of the federal government, right? So the federal government shouldn't be providing any welfare. There should be no United States Department of Education. There should be no federal welfare. Zero. Okay? That is not okay. Because you're saying that I need to take your tax dollars. You don't know how to be moral. We're going to be moral for you and dictate what is moral, and we're going to provide for those certain things that we deem moral. That's theft. That's wrong. James Madison, the father of the Constitution, said, "I cannot undertake to lay my finger upon that article of the Constitution wherein Congress has the right to reappropriate funds from its constituents for the purposes of benevolence." Whoa, that's huge. That's huge. That's really, really important, because he's making it very, very clear that you cannot take from person A and give to person B for any reason if it's for your own morality. You can't do that. There's nowhere in the Constitution that it's provided. And it makes sense in a free country. You don't get to take from person A and give to person B and then claim that you're some morally virtuous human being. If you give of your own, that's morally virtuous. It totally is. I defy any person to disprove that. I can't envision any scenario where taking from person A and giving to person B without giving anything of your own is morally virtuous. No. And that's what we're talking about. That's why conservatives haven't made a bill to provide for children after they're born. That's the question that was born of the argument. And, I just want to be really clear there. At least none I can think of. Maybe there was one, but the whole point of freedom is to allow you to do with your money as you please. That's what they don't get. They don't want you to be free. They want you to operate under their moral code. Prove me wrong. I'm excited to see the comments. I hope to high heaven that there is spirited, excitable debate. I hope it's civil. And I hope that you provide evidence for your claims on both sides. All right. I'm really excited to see what you guys say. Have a lovely, lovely Friday.